Hey guys, I am shooting this for a mentorship group. If you're part of Be Inspired with Otache, I'm shooting this because of you. I have been, researching, observing, just doing my own background work, going through the internet, and I have advice for you. You know, we are in a country going through what most people would call its birth period. It's gonna be painful. There's a lot of things currently happening in Nigeria, Africa. Nigeria is going through a lot. That means that Nigerians are going through crazy things. People are hungry, jobless. Politicians are good. All of those stories that we all know. But here's something I'm going to advise you. If you're a part of my mentorship, you know that I'm always keen at you have your destiny in your hands and you can decide how your life unfolds. And I still remain on that stance. Here's something I'm going to advise you: find and build a skill. You cannot afford not to have a skill in this current dispensation. And I'm all in for jobs. All of us would have jobs at some certain time. We all have bosses, so that's mentality that says that I want to be my own boss is not necessarily true, because at some point you're always going to have somebody who's a boss, kind of. But the business is different from the 9 to 5 and all of those things, and they have their advantages and disadvantages. I don't want to get into that, but here's something I'm going to advise you: Nigeria is going to get a little bit harder before it gets better. Other people believe that it's never going to get better. I am not part of that school of thoughts. I believe that it's definitely going to get a little bit harder and then it's going to get better. It's going to get better because you have decided to take your life into your hands and make the best out of it. It's not going to get better because things are going to go better. No. What's going to make Nigeria get better is when the individuals realize that they have their lives in their hands, and they can make do with their life whatever they want. So this is you I'm talking to. Take charge of your life. This sounds like something you heard over and over before, but there's never been a time when you have to take charge of your life. The truth is, nobody cares about you. And when I say nobody, I'm talking about the leaders. They mostly don't care about you. And should they? I don't know. Yeah, they should. But what I'm saying is that take advantage of the possibilities within the Nigerian ecosystem. The reason why we're going through this birth period is tell you that we are in a state where opportunities are abound. It's not like the US where, things have been tapped, they are a first world nation, industries are there, billionaires, businesses everywhere, China and the likes are doing really well because people like me and you have taken advantage of the season that China and the US were developing. And so they found what was missing, and they took advantage of that and built a life for themselves. And that is what is currently happening in Nigeria. People like Shea Hoodie, the celebrity Taylor and all of those things, has found a niche for himself. We've seen Taylor's all our lives, but he has taken it to another level. And we have quite a few people doing what he's doing, but he's doing it at a very intelligent way. And that is what should happen to you. We all focus on get a good job, go abroad, do all of these things, and we forget that the reason why Nigeria is going through this season is because opportunities are available. There's never been a time in Nigerian's history that there are these kinds of opportunity, where you could literally sell sand and get money. You could, that's cliche, all of those things. But take advantage, sit down, meditate, think, research. All you need to do, I'm going to give you an estimate. All you need to do is just to study America, study the businesses in America and China, see the businesses that are doing well, and find a way of bringing it to Nigeria at your own small pace. No pressure on yourself. But if you really want to beat this game, this money game, you've got to look outward and see what you can bring inward that can make sense. Nigeria is growing. It's going to grow. It's going to get better. But it's not going to get better for everyone. It's going to get better for people who have taken advantage of what's currently happening within the ecosystem. things are going to blow up. The politicians are not going to be the people responsible for that blow up. It's going to be individuals, people who will captain industries, people who will revolutionize the business world, in medicine, in agriculture, in fashion, in commerce, in different sector, people who are taking advantage of the loopholes, the untapped industries, people like that are going to lead the next Nigerian ecosystem. And you've got to be that person. I mean, you don't have to take the entire sector. You could be, a small percentage of people who are going to make it happen, and you're going to be highly rewarded. This is no news that things are going to change. I know that for a fact. And you don't need a prophet to tell you that things are going to get better, but it's going to get better for individuals and not necessarily the collective nations. And people are going to advocate that the US, the Western world are doing really well, but you go there and you see that there are also people who are poor, homeless. There are white folks who are poor and homeless. Life happened to them and all of those things, and so you've got to take advantage of where Nigeria is headed, where Africa is headed. It baffles me that people don't see that that development in Africa is not a cost. It's opportunities that are waiting for people to tap in. The road system, the train, even though the aviation sector still a lot to be done there, the agricultural sector still a lot to be done there. Someone jokingly said that if you plant something on the roof, it's gonna grow. That's how incredible Africa is. So I'm gonna tell you right now that stop the blame game, stop the victim mentality, and take charge of your life. Look at something that you are passionate about, and you don't have to be good at it now. There's still time to learn. If you are a young person out there, just pick something, pick any industry, and learn something from it. Research, go online, see what's currently happening in the Western world, and see how you can bring it into the African system. I'm going to tell you a story about three brothers. I think they're three or two. I can't remember. In Germany. So what they did to become billionaires was that they found businesses doing really well in the US and other parts of the world, and they just brought it to Germany, and they became billionaires. And what they did was that those businesses that were doing well saw that someone had already started something like that in Germany, and they're like, okay, they bought some of those businesses out, like they bought it out, huge money. And that's the same thing that should happen now. Things are changing. Are you wondering why businesses like OPay, Money Point are doing really well? Those businesses, some of them are not even Nigerian owned companies. Some are not, some are. But you see how it picks up very well. Our numbers is our advantage. Nigeria is more than 200 million people. The largest black population in the world. Our numbers is our advantage. China is one advantage of how number is an advantage. So we are more than 200 million people. So if you sell well, if you catch up with the trend, you are going to be an unstoppable force. So stop looking at yourself as a victim. Stop that blame game. Take charge of your life and see how things are going to turn out for you. Cheers, guys. And if this is your first time watching this video, we have a mentorship program. It's happening on WhatsApp, but as we grow, we're going to go on to other social media as we grow. So if you want to be a part of it, you're going to find a link to the mentorship anywhere around this video or in the description. If you're watching it on Facebook or on YouTube, just check around. You're going to see it. You're going to be part of the mentorship. And if you have been part of the mentorship, I urge you to take advantage of everything that we're teaching. It's going to change your life. So cheers, guys. See you in the next episode. Bye.